This is Rock Leach with Social Fire. Okay, y'all, we're still talking about Dr. Myron Williams and what he did to Dr. Sibyl Finney. Now, you all, I want to make sure that you all understand this. In our last video that we did, we made we made an outright effort to make sure that people asked the right questions. They asked the right questions, and we did that video so that we would lead people into what went wrong. Why? Here's the question. Why did Dr. Myron Williams not want her there? Because we don't know. We don't know. And a lot of you in the comments, I appreciate it. You had your thinking caps on. You was looking at it just like I was. And you were wondering, well, what led to all of this? What did she do? What did she do to deserve this kind of treatment? Y'all, we finna get into it. You don't want to miss this video.
Social fire, we don't play. Rock Leach bringing the heat all day. Faith on fire, no mask, no leash. Fire in his voice, yeah, I rock.
He the voice for the ones that the church forgot. He bring truth to the light, whether liked or not.
All right, y'all. So what we did was, and welcome back. But what we did was that we went through and we found several other videos that we want to be able to react to show you actually what happened. Now, I do have to start with this video right here because I want to make sure that you all are able to see what the fallout, the actual fallout. So let's go ahead and get in that. Then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna show you some other videos that maybe will answer that question on what actually happened, because this all shouldn't have happened. Let's go.
You don't have the right, sir. God bless. God bless. That's Brother Myron Williams. And he said, I don't have the right to be in the choir stand. I'm a registered delegate. You don't want it up there? We're in a conversation. That's no problem. I'm done. I'm fine. I'm fine. My attorney will handle it. Don't work with me. I'm bringing the police to have you removed. It's a problem. In a conversation. Not a problem. Enjoy yourself. Not a problem. He said, don't go up there. Not a problem.
Now, let me go ahead and say this right here. To put her out, for him to show up with security and these jellyback security talking about we gonna call the police, all these men in 2025, and she said that in the interview, 2025, you putting a woman out like this. This is childish, this is petty, and they're gonna call the police on her. Y'all, we gotta go ahead and call it. This is almost like men acting like women. This is terrible. You know, I said what I said, y'all. This is terrible right here. And so we're gonna keep going because there's a few things that I've got to show you here. Now, at this next video right here, this is from a podcast that's on here called Heat Show. And we took a listen to what they said, and they were actually interviewing Dr. Finney. Now, the Bishop Jordan gentleman up here at the top of the video asked some very important questions. And y'all, we gotta, he asked those questions that's going to help us to get some answers. But I want y'all to hear this. Let's go.
Thing to me, and that's when he said, well, do you want me to bring him back here? I said, absolutely. Please bring him back here so that he can explain to all of us what this is about. And the one security guard that was standing there, she said, well, maybe they don't think you're registered. I said, ma'am, here's my badge. She said, well, put it on. Maybe they didn't see your badge.
Now, let me back this up just a minute, because I want y'all to hear what she said leading up to that, because they were wondering, what did you do? Even the security was asking, what did you do? Listen.
These are the privileges that come along with the registration as well. We're in a public setting. This isn't a private meeting.
Right.
It's a public work.
And you are, aside from being a credential holder in the church, you are a paid laity member in the church. And so I'm trying to figure out under what disciplinary,
Exactly.
Under what
That's what we were trying to figure out.
So what was the disciplinary reasons that you weren't allowed? Listen.
What is his complaint that you have violated that would make you ineligible? Because the only person you can make ineligible is someone who is not in good standing. Who are you not in good standing with, and for what?
And that's what we were trying to get to. The security asked, what is he saying that you did? I said, I don't know. And the gentleman that was not so nice, that was standing, oh, he didn't tell you? He didn't say nothing to you? I said, did he say anything to you? No one has said anything to me. And that.
Now listen, so the security are operating and have no idea what she's done, if it's true, if it's false, or nothing. And they done told her, we gonna call the police, all this kind of stuff. Read. The guy got up in her face. You saw his jacket. That's how close he was to her phone. And after the fact, they asked you, what you even do? And so they just out here operating, and they didn't even have an answer. Myron did not give them a reason. He just told them, I don't want to up here. And they gonna go operate. Y'all, that ain't how you do. That ain't godly at all. Is this what we doing in God's house, y'all? This is foolishness. Keep going, keep going.
That's when he said, well, do you want me to bring him back here? I said, absolutely. Please bring him back here so that he can explain to all of us what this is about. And the one security guard that was standing there, she said, well, maybe they don't think you're registered. I said, ma'am, here's my badge. She said, well, put it on. Maybe they didn't see your badge. I said, ma'am, this is beyond a badge.
So let me take you to another part of this video where the question was asked once again. She talked about a meeting that they had. Myron actually had a meeting, according to what I'm hearing here, actually had a meeting about her. And in the meeting, they asked him, what did she do? I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to what she said. This is crazy.
Meeting that was being held against me.
Let me back it up.
A book that I don't know about yet.
Now listen.
So sorry. I don't.
We were all baffled. I mean,
do y'all have a book that nobody's never seen? Because it's possible. I mean, you know, all these departments come up with stuff. So, you know, is it something that I missed in here?
We all missed, including the security, the convention center security. They asked the same question. What is it that they're saying that you did? I said, ma'am, this is what we're trying to figure out. He has not told me, and it was reported to me in this meeting that was being held against me.
So he having them back channel meetings against her. Y'all, this is crazy. Listen to this. They had a whole meeting against her.
Where it was reported to me that he was telling folks to disfellowship me. So they asked him, what are you saying she did? Right. No one could get an answer. And here's the problem. Before you have Hawaii 5-0 and the FBI and the CIA and all alphabet come and assault me, there should have been a due process. There should have been a discussion had ahead of time.
Yo, this is what's bad about this. I'm going to go to another part of the video. This is what's bad about this. Somebody can just say, I don't like them, disfellowship them, bar them, and folk just get to moving. Is that how Church of God in Christ operate now? Is this how we can just be a tyrant and do people like this? We don't go to, if you have an art with your brother, go to them in private. We don't do that anymore. We're not doing it biblically no more. He didn't even say it. He just got people doing what he said. Church of God in Christ music department. Is this how it go? Because I don't know nothing with Judith McAllister or any of the other one, Ira Stevenson, Lavanya Willie, any of them, Maddie. I don't know anybody just pointing and saying no and without due process. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's what was going on here. So there's another part that I've got to show you right here where the gentleman at the top makes a great point, and he's talking about due process. He's talking about due process, and about being a credential holder. I thought this was some very good information. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go.
When they are not a credential holder in the church, a member in good standing in the church, those remedies that we have in the church for going to the pastor, going to the bishop, to the superintendent, where do you go when that person doesn't have any of those things in place?
Basically saying, since Myron Williams comes from the outside, how do you go to his superintendent or his bishop or anything like that when he comes from the outside, and is put in there? Where do you go? Because there's not a process for him. And that looks like that's what he's saying.
Was that kind of how have you, and I'm curious as to what levels of the church have you approached about this?
And to your response, and hello, Sister Shoutengale, as well, respect to you, to respond, because Brother St. James asked the other day if I had spoken with presiding bishop, right. And my answer then was no. The question, does the presiding bishop know? That's a different question, because when the attorney sent the cease and desist, it was addressed to Myron. When I finally saw it, it was addressed to Myron, but it was also given to the presiding bishop as well as the general board.
So this is This information is making it. She put it out there, and they've all got their letters and stuff like that. But is this what go on? Why did we choose? And when I say we, I'm talking about Church of God in Christ, even though I'm not Church of God in Christ, but I have family members. My father is Church of God in Christ, and several of my family members are Church of God in Christ. Why did you go past people who were qualified and put somebody in place that is from the outside? Why did you do that? If you go back through Myron's history, Juanita Bynum, we all know she is terrible. Arrogant, stuff like that kind of sounds like Kim Burrell too. Arrogant, egotistic, done been called out a zillion times. So have Juanita Bynum. These are the people that Myron have been very close to and have done work for. This whole celebrity mindset, this whole celebrity thing, and we've got to look at this whole thing because, there's a lot of things that go on in the church that folk don't like to talk about, especially in the music department where you got so many little boys acting like little girls. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. And so, I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this? Because this right here should not have happened. And now just as much as I do as far as why he didn't. And y'all, you can tell me, what do you think this is about? Why would someone hold a meeting about Dr. Finney? Why would someone hold a meeting about her? And inside of the meeting, they asked, what did she do? And he gave no answer for what she did. You got to ask the question. When he talked to the security and had them to go and tell her she couldn't go on stage, even they did not know what she had done wrong. Is this the kind of leadership that Church of God in Christ is known for? This is what's being endorsed now? Y'all, this is terrible. This is terrible. And in 2025, we bring a whole bunch of men in a woman's face, a woman who's known for taking care of her mama, a woman whose background is exemplary. This is what we doing now. We're bullying women right now. That's what we doing? Church of God in Christ, y'all got to answer this. This is what we doing. Y'all need to do something with Myron Williams. This is what I'm saying. He should not be in charge. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I said what I said. All right, and I'm not taking it back. I want you to meet me in the comments so we can continue talking about this. Meet me in the comments. Let's go.
Social fire, we don't play. Rock leech, bring in the heat all day. Faith on fire, no mask, no leash. Fire in his voice, yeah, I rock.
He the voice first. God, he bring truth to the light, whether liked or not.